Welcome to our kitchen.
Welcome to the Rebel Dietitian Kitchen. I'm Clara.
I'm Caitlin.
And today we are talking slow cookers.
Slow cookers, yes.
One of my favorite. I say that every time, I know.
Clara is the gadget queen. And which is good. I am slowly becoming a crock pot person. I got one for my bridal shower, and I've started to actually use it.
See, I'm jealous of yours. Now I want one that looks like yours, but
mine's bigger and better than Clara's.
It is. Mine's a little baby one. But so one of the tips that I've been doing for meal prep, especially since it's been cold, is making one meal prep a week in the crock pot, because then I throw it in there and I don't have to worry about it, and it helps make meal prep a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's definitely the season. I don't know who is tuning in, who is local, but we got like 6 to 8 inches of snow in the DC metro area over the weekend. Caitlin just got back from vacation in the Bahamas and came back to snow.
Yeah, that's okay.
So it's nice and chilly outside, which works because today we are making
lentil chili, which is just so perfect. When I started using my crock pot, which was relatively recent, it's just been chili. I make turkey chili kind of all the time for meal prep, and I realized we have turkey chili already on our website. So I was like, what can we do differently?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We thought vegetarian chili with lentils. And a secret ingredient
that you guys are going to find out so soon.
Stay tuned.
All right, so let's get started with this.
This is so easy, this recipe, that we didn't even prep anything because it's going to go by so quick. So I'm going to give you the green bell peppers. I got green ones. If you're cooking on a budget, this recipe, $9 at the grocery store.
Very affordable.
For like 8 servings.
Yeah, very affordable.
So, we did already have the spices, so it would be a little bit more if you were working with a limited spice cabinet, but otherwise, very affordable.
So that is always good.
The benefit of doing, sorry to interrupt
you. No, you're fine. I was just going to say, we just came out of the holidays, so there's a little bit more shopping that happens, so it's kind of good to maybe throw in a recipe or two that's a little bit more budget friendly. Yeah,
and those plant-based meals a lot of times are more affordable just because beans, lentils are cheaper than a pound of ground beef.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a great way to add extra fiber going on in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about you all, but during the holidays when I'm eating a lot of richer foods, a lot of holiday parties, just don't get a lot of fiber. And now that that's all behind us, I need some fiber in my life.
Yeah, and when speaking of in the new year, we hear a lot about resolutions and people trying to, whatever their resolution is. And Caitlin, you just actually were featured in a really good article about resolutions in the Washington Post. And one thing that I thought you said was really cool was adding things into your diet rather than taking them out.
Yeah, so we did post that on our Facebook. If you're interested in reading the article. But yeah, so I'm over here chopping up a carrot, just one nice big carrot. You've got 2 bell peppers.
Just
going to dice them up.
And I will say, if you're crunched on time or you're really not feeling like chopping, there's no shame in getting things pre-chopped at the grocery store. It's totally okay. So if that makes this, that'll be then even quicker if you're just getting things pre-chopped. But we can entertain you for a little bit while we chop things up.
So tell me a little bit more about what you do in your slow cooker, since you're the slow cooker.
I do everything. So I love doing some kind, like chilies and soups and stews. So usually I cook for me and my roommate, and it helps because it gives us things to eat during the week. But I also then will throw things in the freezer because sometimes a recipe will make more than 4 or 6 servings and there's only 2 of us. So, but it gives us a nice kind of backup meal, or if, I need a dinner one night or he needs one. So it really is helpful for that. But I do, I've done like pork, like slow roasted pork in the slow cooker. I'll do pulled chicken. I'll do so many different things.
We did, what did we do? Shredded chicken for tacos at our work retreat.
Oh, we did.
Really good.
Yep.
And I think the nice thing about a slow cooker is that it cooks the food in a way that it just gets better with time.
Yep.
So when you put these foods in the freezer, they hold up really well.
Absolutely. And the kind of the way that it works and why I think the slow cooker works so well with, like, if you do get a bigger piece of meat and you want to slow cook it, it's because the temperature is it's lower, and it allows kind of everything to, like, the meat to tenderize and things to really, the flavor meld together.
I also experimented this week with beans in the crock pot.
Oh yeah, I saw
dry.
that. Yeah, on your Instagram.
Really tasty. And then I made chicken stock for the first time.
Yep, that is something that I've done a few times in the slow cooker is, you know, throw some veggies, throw some soup, or sorry, not soup, some water, in my chicken and make it into chicken stock. My mom likes to do it in her Instapot too.
Yeah, I've seen that on Instagram that it's just so much quicker.
Yeah.
As is everything with Instapot. So we're just throwing everything in this crock pot here. I'm gonna start on the jalapeno. Of course, that's your spice.
Do you want that?
Level can dictate how much you put in. If you put in the seeds or some of the seeds, what's your?
I am a no seed person. I'm a no
person.
seed person. You know, I like my heat to be more subtle. Caitlin, this is where we differ. Caitlin likes it spicy.
AJ wants to stick a whole Carolina Reaper that we got from our garden in our next chili pot.
Oh my gosh. See, that just makes me want to cry. Like, that makes me so nervous. But yeah, that is a great way, like Caitlin mentioned, to control the heat is, you know, in a jalapeno, most of the heat in terms of the spice are in the seeds and then the ribs. If you guys want to come in here and kind of see.
I just quartered it, and then I'm just going to hold on to the rib and the seeds and just chop it off.
So that's where most of the heat is, so it's easier to kind of control.
Just watch your fingers, and then I'll dice it up like you would any other veggie.
So I am really liking in my chili doing chipotle chilies and adobo, because so that's the kind of spice that I like. It's that smoky heat rather than the assault your mouth heat that I feel like. Again, this is where Caitlin and I differ. But again, that makes it kind of customizable in that, and what I love about chilies in particular. Actually, this week in my slow cooker, I made chili.
Oh, what kind of chili you made?
It was turkey chili.
Turkey chili.
Turkey chili with black beans and kidney beans. But last week I made buffalo chicken soup, which was really good. The week before that, I made this like slow cooker, like Korean barbecue, like inspired flank steak. That was also really good.
We have a blog that was recently posted about slow cookers. It actually doesn't highlight this recipe specifically. It is in there, but it talks about mashed potatoes in your slow cooker.
So I did that for Friendsgiving this year, and it was amazing because so Friendsgiving, I cooked Friendsgiving for my friends, and there was like 20 people in my apartment, and it's, you know, just like on a regular Thanksgiving, you're trying to coordinate like 45 dishes and the turkey and like personalities and people everywhere. So I decided to try it in the slow cooker, and it was amazing. It took so much pressure off of trying to like make sure that the mashed potatoes were done and warm when the turkey was out and everything else. So I highly recommend it.
We had at our Friendsgiving, like 6 people brought crock pots. So we just had crock pot row, and it was like sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, I don't even know what else.
Yeah. No, it's great. And I love, like, it keeps, like, we had, at our holiday party, I made a chicken chili, actually. And I used the crock pot to keep that warm, and we had tacos as well, and they were actually both made, I ended up making both of them in the crock pot, and then just letting them stay warm. So it's a great way to cook for entertaining, especially for large groups, because it's kind of a set it and forget it, so it gives you time to go clean or do other things. So,
definitely. All right, I added the jalapeno. Clara is starting to work on this onion over here, and I'm just smashing the garlic. So if you don't know this trick to get garlic out, we've probably talked about it before.
probably have.
You just set it down on the cutting board. You take the flat side of the knife. You know, watch your hands, of course, and you just smack it. I just kind of give it a good squish, and then the paper
Skin?
skin
I think that's what
pops
they
right
call it.
off.
So I handed Caitlin some gloves as she started to do the jalapeno. kind of a trick that I use at home because I am notorious. So jalapenos are spicy, and the juice can stay on for a little bit of time. So I have, on more than one occasion, cut a jalapeno and then later touched my eye. And it is not a pleasant experience. So I prefer, when I cut jalapenos, to use gloves in there.
So when I was making this recipe, I'd read some reviews online of other recipes, and people were concerned that they said their lentils didn't cook in the crock pot, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, okay.
I did not have any issues. I've never had any issues with my beans or lentils cooking in the crock pot. It is a long process. I do it on low.
Yep.
Oh wait, I cooked this on high for 4 hours actually.
Oh.
You could do it on low for 8 hours.
Yep.
I'm usually in a time crunch. If you are worried about your lentils not cooking, you could always use pre-cooked lentils or cook them in advance.
Yep, and definitely whether it's canned or now they're frozen cooked lentils too. That I know Trader Joe's has them in their freezer section. Yeah.
Oh.
And I know, so I hear from some of my clients when we talk slow cookers, that concern, like, well, I don't want to leave this on while I'm gone all day. Which certainly is a very valid and understandable concern.
Thanks to This Is Us.
Thanks to, I haven't watched This Is Us yet, but I know what you're talking about, and I know what happens, and, I mean, it's a valid concern. But I think even with, like, if you're trying to do errands or you have other things going on a weekend or a day when you're home, throw everything in and then it cooks while you're doing things, and then at least you're home, so.
That's you. I know you do it while you're at work or while you're sleeping. I just do it on Sunday when I'm home and it's done by the evening.
All right. And yeah, I'll do it when I sleep, and then I'll wake up and I'm like, oh, it smells so nice in here. You need.
This is my fingers since I have gloves on.
All right.
Where are we? We've got the canned goods now.
We've got the canned good now. So we added our onion, our carrot, our green pepper, and our jalapeno, and our garlic.
Yes.
So now comes the really hard part.
Dumping stuff into a crock pot.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so we're starting with, this is a 28-ounce can of petite dice, and I'm so glad you got petite dice. I preferred them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know, because they're diced a little bit smaller than regular dice.
Right,
so I think it cooks better.
Now with all of these, I didn't happen to grab the low sodium versions. I usually do, but you can definitely give it a good rinse to get off, which we did. We drained and rinsed all of these. So we have black beans and kidney beans. And
one thing that you can do if you aren't able to use low sodium products is, don't add the salt right away, and then you can control, you can season
And this
it later.
is actually being made with water, so not even broth. So there's no extra sodium in that sense.
Yep. So add that in, and that's one good trick. I mean, I will try and use. We're getting right to the top. I will try and use low sodium products whenever I can, but if not, then what I'll just do is I'll adjust in the recipe.
I'm doing 2 tablespoons of
tomato paste.
Tomato paste.
Okay.
Probably should have done the spices first because I need this.
Paper towel.
All right. And
Oh,
we're
yeah,
going
you
to do a
need
couple
tablespoons.
tablespoons of chili powder, a couple tablespoons of cumin. That's why I brought my big one.
I know. Mine is a little meant for small families and individuals, so it's.
So I'm just doing, I'll do 3 here. 3.5 of chili powder, and then you can do 2 of the cumin.
Yeah, absolutely. And then is it time for our secret ingredient?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Ooh.
I was hoping more. No, that's fine.
Oh,
there we go. Do you want it? No. Well, you
We
can put a pinch of cayenne.
I can be flexible. We can add a little bit of cayenne in there.
Just a titch. Why not?
Just a smidgen.
1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Give it some heat.
Like a whole teaspoon if you're Caitlin at home.
Maybe.
Maybe. Am I wrong? No.
All right. Stir it all up.
Okay.
And you set it on high. Let it go for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, we didn't miss our lentils.
Guess what? Lentils do go into this as well.
Yeah. Let's not forget about that. All right.
We're going to try and fit them into Clara's tiny.
It will fit. Let's see.
It has no room to grow.
No, we'll just be very careful.
Okay, so on high for 3 hours, And then in that last hour is when the magic happens.
All right, what is our
Ta-da!
peanut butter? Woo!
I don't know. I've seen this on the internet in recipes, but only recently. I've never heard of it before until AJ told me about it, and now I do it every single time. I think it's beneficial in vegetarian chilies, turkey chilies. It just gives it a nice, what we call in the food industry, mouthfeel. Gives it that fat.
Yep.
You don't taste it, and you're like, what is that?
Right.
It's peanut butter.
Yep.
Without the saturated fat of like ground beef.
Absolutely, and it helps make it a little bit more satisfying, which I appreciate about it, because when we eat, we want to make sure we're feeling satisfied too, because otherwise, what's the point? Yeah. So, that I think is certainly important.
Okay, so I'm going to use Clara's favorite gadget.
I told you, I have 1,000 favorite gadgets.
Which one's the tablespoon? There we go, 2 tablespoons.
You got it. Okay. But it's just so, it's so easy. Like, how many times do you try and put peanut butter in something, and you're like, oh, how do I, get it out? This just makes it so simple.
Use my finger.
Well, I don't like getting my fingers dirty. I mean, that's not true. I definitely do.
Okay, so this obviously has not been going for 3 hours, but you get the point.
And then you
just swoop. And now it's stuck on the knife.
See,
and it'll be hot, it'll mix in, and then you let it go for another hour, and what you get is this.
Ooh, that looks good.
So nice and creamy. Like I said, this would go really nicely into the freezer to be reheated later.
And this is a great, especially if you're traveling and you come back from traveling and don't want to deal with trying to figure out all of your meal prep, having something like that in the fridge or in the freezer, excuse me.
This has actually been in the freezer because I cooked it before I left.
I know, look at that.
So
look how prepared
reheated and beautiful. So let's give it a try.
All right. Oh, it smells
If you don't like it.
Good.
I'm sorry.
I won't tell you if I don't like it. All right, good.
Tastes like chili to me.
You don't miss the meat in there at all.
It's good. You can put a little sprinkle of cheese and plain Greek yogurt or sour cream on top. But as of right now, this is vegan.
Yeah.
Add that cheese and sour cream. It's still vegetarian and it's delicious. And if you missed it, the secret ingredient is peanut butter.
Oh yeah, and that definitely, it's like a nice richness without, even without that meat. So that is really good.
Thank you.
That's on the money.
Yes. All right, so our recipe is on our website. It is. We will put it in the comment section, I believe, of this.
It'll go into the comment section on Facebook and Instagram.
It's our most recent post.
It is our most recent post.
So check it out. Anyway, thanks for joining us on this cold Tuesday.
Absolutely. So we'll be back on February 19th, and it is Heart Health Month, so we are going to be talking bean burgers.
More pulses.
More pulses.
Why not? Because we all need that fiber in our life a little
Absolutely. Absolutely. So have a good day, and let us know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see us make.
Yeah.